I believe having a private life is way better than having a mysterious life. And I was just thinking about this because I watched a video of a girl who was talking about how we should unfollow people who no longer align with where we are in life, and how we shouldn't be afraid to do what God has told us to do in the fear that people are going to see it and judge it and make fun of it. And I think for me, I've gotten to a point in my life where I just can't be bothered. I think you reach a certain point, and I think this specifically happens in adulthood when life is just lifing and there's just way too much going on for you to care about every little thing like you once did when you were a child or when you didn't have many things to worry about. And I've always kind of cared about what people thought of me. I've always cared about being perceived. And I think it's very important for us to figure out where this comes from. A lot of the times we can just brush it off and be like, you know what, whatever, like that's just me being paranoid. But a lot of the times it comes from seeking validation from people. For me, it started in childhood. My parents constantly judged people around us and constantly nitpicked at me and constantly commented on every little thing that I did. I couldn't exist without being perceived, the way that I walk, the way that I talk, the way that I cut something. And so for me, in my mind, it registered that everybody was watching my every little move. And I had to show up as the most perfect version of myself in order to be accepted by people or to not be judged. And so that's where my need to be mysterious and not be perceived comes from. But I think it gets to a point where we start to hinder ourselves and hinder our growth when we choose to be mysterious over being private, and the two are very different. But in my life, I feel like at this point in my life belongs to me. I'm no longer adhering to rules from my parents or from other people. And there's a verse in the Bible that talks about, I think it's in Corinthians, and it says, when I was a kid, I did childish things. And now that I'm grown, I don't have time for childish things anymore. And that's so true. I genuinely don't have the energy anymore to care about what people think. I don't have the energy anymore to think about what people are thinking about me. And we always hear cliche sayings like, you know, no one thinks about you as much as you do, but I always take that to the most logical standpoint I possibly can, because I think about a person and then I'm like, oh, I thought about them, and then I just forgot about them. And it reminds me how much, of a non-factor we are. And I don't say it in a belittling way or say it in a way that means like people don't care about you or you're just invincible to people, but usually the people we worry about the most of what they think about us really have no factor or no hold in our lives, and we don't have any factor or hold in their lives either. And so why give the little energy that we do have to people and what they think and how they perceive us? Like, I just have gotten to a point where I don't have energy anymore to be mysterious. Being mysterious takes a lot of energy. It requires a lot of hiding. It requires a lot of pushing yourself behind the scenes. It requires a lot of shrinking and dimming your light. And I think we've glamorized and romanticized what being mysterious really is. It's being completely invincible in a world or in a space where you're supposed to be known. And I know that a lot of the times we don't want people from our past to see what we're doing. I always see posts like, don't unfollow people, let them have a front row seat to see how excellent your life is. And I'm that person that's just like, no, like the minute you're not in my life or in my immediate circle, I don't want you to know anything that I have going on. I could be having the best year of my life, and I don't think that's your business. And so I don't think that's overboard or overthinking if you want to unfollow people, or if you really want people from your life, from your past, to know nothing about what's going on in your life. I think that's completely fine. I think people get to a certain point where they no longer deserve access to you or to even have access to see what you're doing. And so it's important to remove people when God tells you to remove them and to just let go. You deserve to live open. You deserve to live free. You deserve to express yourself. The amount of times I wanted to post on an Instagram story, mind you, I'm capped at like 50 followers. I have a private account and I've never posted on my story before. And I have no highlights. Like, you know nothing about me from my social media. Like, that's how mysterious I've been. And the amount of times I've wanted to just post on my story or just like put myself out there, and then I just feel this hesitation. And this hesitation is really just me fearing what people are going to think about me, or me fearing, what might happen if they see this post, or what people might screenshot or share. And then I thought to myself, I have a private account. I literally have 50 followers, so I can track each and every person that's following me. Why would I be following anybody that I don't want to see my life? Why would I be allowing anybody who I don't want to have access to my life to have access to me by following me? Like, I'm literally in full control of my life. I'm in full control of my social media. This is my account. If I am afraid to post on my story because I think somebody who I don't want to see it is going to see it, why in the world am I still following them? And I think we have to get to a point where we check ourselves and take accountability. Like, we're capping our own growth. We're putting a stop to our own growth. And we often we often put ourselves in a higher position, in a place in other people's lives that we're not at. I thought about unfollowing this one person, and I'm like, but what if they notice I unfollow them and then think this, and this about me? Mind you, we live in 2 different cities. The only thing we had in common was high school, and this person has like over 600 followers. They are not going to notice that one person unfollowed them. And even if they do notice that one person unfollowed them, they are not going to go through the 600 plus people they have and be able to pinpoint exactly who unfollowed them, especially if we don't even interact, we don't even talk. They're not going to be able to pinpoint that it was me, unless, they're one of those people who are like overly obsessed with having followers and they have a tracking app. But even then, then what? What happens then? When someone figures out you unfollowed them, you don't talk to them. The most you've said to this person is happy birthday. And I feel like I was just having this conversation with somebody. It feels so odd to unfollow people from high school, from middle school. It feels like you're almost denying a part of yourself, but I think it's beautiful because you're letting go of a part of yourself that no longer aligns with your growth. And I think when we're able to unfollow people who we literally have nothing in common with from high school and from middle school, it just shows, and even from college, it just shows that we've grown so much, that we have expanded past these tiny spaces and these tiny cubicles of people. The amount of people that I follow because I've been in close proximity to them, or we've attended one event together and got along, is crazy. And in my mind, I always make up, these weird excuses of like, what if I bump into this person and they scold me for unfollowing them? But it never happens like that. And 9 times out of 10, you never bump into these people. I just want to let you know that you have permission to live your life. I think it's extremely exhausting to stop and care about what each and every person thinks. And if you are like, well, you know what? You don't understand. If there's anybody that understands, it's me. Like, 85% of my energy last year went to just people and what people think about me and how I'm going to be perceived. And I literally just hit a threshold point where I was just like, I can't exuberate any more energy to care. And it got to a point where it was just like, I physically can't care. And you will get to that point, and it's such a beautiful and such a refreshing and relieving point to get to, where you realize like it takes too much energy to care. And it's like, I'm outgrowing these spaces, these places, these people. I deserve to post on my story and have people view it who I know actually like me, who I know actually support me, who I know actually care about me. We put such an emphasis on social media. We put such an emphasis on people who we will never meet again. And I think it's so important to continue to remind yourself that 95% of the people you're going to meet in life are temporary, and they're there for a particular season. Like, these people are really not, a major part in your story. There's so much of a bigger picture that a lot of people are not part of, and you're not trying to act better than people. You're not trying to be above people by unfollowing people who you never talk to. I think to myself, if I ran into this person, would I be able to say more than just a hi? No, I wouldn't, because I really have nothing in common with this person. So this is your sign to unfollow those people from high school. You hated high school. You didn't like those people. Those people barely liked you. Unfollow those people from high school, unfollow those people from middle school, unfollow those people who you might even still see around your campus, but you don't talk to them. They gossip too much, they're in too much drama, they're not good for your mental health. Unfollow them and walk right past them and lift your head up high, knowing that you're making the best decision for you. Life is too difficult right now. There's too much happening for us to not make the right decision for us. And it's your social media, it's your ecosystem, it's your timeline. So fill it up with people you know actually love you and support you. People you know you get texts and they would text you right back and you guys could have a conversation. If you can't do that with these people that you're following, unfollow them. And remember to remove people as a follower as well, because it definitely lightens the tension there. I know sometimes it feels like there's a tension there, but it really isn't. But it seems like a problem when you unfollow somebody, but you keep them as a follower. So make sure you're unfollowing people, and again, no longer allowing them to have access to this new version of you, because you deserve people who make you feel good. You deserve people who are good for your mental health.